Welcome to Candid Conversation Zoomed In and Comments video channel. My name is Cliff. Thank you very much for dropping in today to see our latest upload. Today I want to talk about Canada's Governor General, who they are and what they do. Canada has a political landscape, a rich tapestry woven from its historical ties to the British monarchy. Its unique national identity and its commitment to democratic governance are keys to its success as a nation. Part of Canada's political structure is the office of the Governor General. The person who occupies the position embodies the essence of Canada's constitutional monarchy, and they serve as a vital link between the country and the Crown. So, what are the roles of the Governor General? Well, there's a couple of them. The Governor General of Canada is the King's representative in the country and is appointed by the monarch on the advice of the Prime Minister. The office carries significant ceremonial responsibilities, as well as certain constitutional and political functions. The Governor General plays a crucial role in upholding the principles of democracy and governance while symbolizing Canadian unity and national identity. So, what are the duties? As I mentioned, there's a number of them. The first set of them are basically ceremonial in nature. One of the primary functions of the Governor General is to oversee and participate in various ceremonial events throughout the year. They include the following state functions. The Governor General presides over state dinners, official ceremonies, and the opening of Parliament, where they deliver the speech from the throne. That's a statement outlining what the government is going to do, the government's agenda. They also do things like offer up and present honors and awards. The Governor General is responsible for presenting various awards and honors, such as the Order of Canada, military and civilian medals. In this role, they highlight the achievement of Canadian citizens in various fields, celebrating their contributions to Canadian society. They also participate in national holidays. The Governor General participates in important national observances, including Canada Day celebrations and Remembrance Day ceremonies, fostering a sense of um, pride and unity among Canadians. Heraldry. The Governor General is also the head of the Heraldic Authority. The Canadian Heraldic Authority is the federal service responsible for creating heraldic emblems, such as arms, flags, badges, including national symbols and military badges. Believe it or not, in Canada, you can actually get your own coat of arms. And this is the body that does that. So the Governor General would put their seal of approval on that. So, as noted, they also have constitutional roles. While Canada operates a parliamentary democracy, the Governor General does have constitutional responsibilities, and these include giving royal assent. Every bill passed by Parliament must receive the Governor General's approval to become law. Although this is largely a formality now, it remains an essential part of the legislative process. Summoning and dissolving Parliament. The Governor General has the authority to summon Parliament and dissolve it, which calls for federal elections. This power exercise is on the advice of the Prime Minister and is rooted in long-standing conventions. Appointing the Prime Minister. When a general election occurs, the Governor General invites the leader of the party with the most seats in the House of Commons to form the government. In times of uncertainty, like a hung parliament, the role ensures that the government still works, it still functions, and there's always a functioning government in place. So, who is our current Governor General here in Canada? The Governor General of Canada is Mary Simon. She was appointed in July of 2021. She's notable for being the first Indigenous person to hold a prestigious position. Her appointment has marked a significant moment in Canadian history, reflecting the nation's evolving relationship with its Indigenous peoples and underscoring the importance of representation in governance. Mary Simon's background also is that of an advocate for Indigenous rights. She was a journalist, a diplomat, and brings a unique perspective to this role, shaping the contributions of the Canadian society as a whole and the office's engagement. So she really does have a lot of influence in this particular role, particularly as an Indigenous person. She's really bringing the stories of Indigenous people to the fore. And also, another thing that she's doing is talking about online abuse, a really important subject matter that she's really gotten into due to the fact that she's received so much vitriol from people across the nation regarding her appointment, including the fact that she's not the greatest at French. The point is that she's talking about it. She's not afraid to step up and go forward and say, "Hey, we need to talk about this." So, good on her. So, here's one of the biggest questions regarding the Governor General: do they really have power? The role of the Governor General of Canada often raises questions about the extent of their powers and influence within the government. As the King's representative in Canada, the Governor General occupies a prominent position in the country's constitutional monarchy. However, many Canadians and even some political observers may wonder, does the Governor General really have any power? It's a legitimate question. Do they really have power? As mentioned before, there is a constitutional rule for the Governor General. So, yeah, the constitutional role of the Governor General, there is some power here. So, the Governor General has a position that is steeped in historical precedent and constitutional law. As noted earlier, the GG is appointed by the monarch on the advice of the Prime Minister. The Governor General's primary responsibilities include summoning and proroguing Parliament, giving royal assent to legislation, and representing Canada at state level during foreign visits. Constitutionally, the Governor General is endowed with certain powers. However, these powers are largely ceremonial. Let me reiterate that they're ceremonial mostly, and they're executed in accordance with established conventions. For example, while the Governor General technically has the power to refuse royal assent, they've never done it. It's never been done. So essentially, if you will, and it's kind of sad to say, she could get presented with a law that's really horrible, but she'll still give royal assent. So there is a political reality here in Canada. Given the principles of responsible government, the Governor General is expected to act on the advice of the Prime Minister and Cabinet. This notion of acting on the advice ensures that the democratic principles of Canada remain intact. In practice, the Governor General's role is a day to day position in many ways that's pretty much politically minimal. All right, so her politics are very, very minimal. Her influence on it, minimal. They must balance the precarious nature of their duties with the need to remain nonpartisan. They need to remain nonpartisan. So they must have that stance, ensuring that they do not overstep boundaries that could compromise the democratic process. However, the Governor General can play a crucial role during times of political crisis. One of these instances occurred in 2008 during a parliamentary stalemate over the vote of no confidence against the government led by Prime Minister Stephen Harper. The Governor General at the time, Michael Jean, exercised the power to prorogue Parliament to allow the government to regroup. Such situations illustrate that while the Governor General's powers may be constrained by convention, their role is definitely important in facilitating governmental continuity, and that can be significant in many, many ways, like in this instance. There is a public perception of the Governor General, and there are modern challenges that she does face. In an era of increasing scrutiny regarding governance, the relevance of the Governor General's role come under discussion. Some advocates argue for a more significant representation, while others question the necessity of maintaining a constitutional monarchy altogether. Some Canadians have expressed a desire for a more democratically accountable figure in this position, reflecting a shift in public sentiment. Recent controversies surrounding the actions and conduct of some governors general have further fueled debates about the relevance and effectiveness of the office. Some instances raised questions about the mechanisms for accountability and transparency in what is often perceived as largely a symbolic role. One example of this is the earlier removal of Julie Payette, the 29th GG. She resigned after it came to light that she was abusive to her staff, often mistreating them in various ways that created a toxic work environment. Ms. Payette resigned in January of 2021. In conclusion, while the Governor General of Canada does hold some formal powers within the framework of government, the practical exercise of these powers is markedly limited. The role, primarily ceremonial and a symbol of Canadian unity, revolves around representing the monarchy and promoting the national spirit. Despite being vested with constitutional authority, the Governor General primarily acts on the advice of the Prime Minister, reinforcing the principles of responsible and democratic governance. As Canada continues to evolve, the dialogue surrounding the Governor General's role remains crucial as it reflects broader conversations about democracy, representation, and the future of governance in Canada. Ultimately, whether the Governor General has real power can be understood as a reflection of both the institutional norms that govern political life and the changing expectations of Canadian citizens. As Canada continues to evolve, the role of the Governor General will undoubtedly adapt, but it will always remain a vital part of the country's identity, fostering respect for its history while looking forward to a progressive future. Well, there you have it. It's my summation of the Governor General and their role. Basically, what I think of it is this: it's an important thing to have. It's an important role in the governance of Canada. It's largely, as noted, ceremonial. And I think that having a Governor General is kind of unique to Canada and the other Commonwealth countries that still exist today. Would I say that it's extremely relevant in the government? To a point, yes, it is. It's relevant as a position. I had reached out to actually interview Mary Simon, the Governor General of Canada. Unfortunately, I was not able to gain that request, was denied. So I figured still let's talk about what they do, who they are, how their position works, and give you an idea of what a Governor General is really all about here in Canada and the other Commonwealth countries, because they are important people and they do make government much better by what they do. So uh, kudos to Mary Simon for doing the kind of work that she does. We'll see you in the next episode. Thanks again for dropping in. My name is Cliff Tour. We'll see you around. Take care of yourself. Be well. Be happy. Hug dogs, as my brother-in-law says. Bye for now.